Animalistic.
Other than that, you have told me before that Martin Scorsese tried to make the movie as real to life from your real story as possible. Is that correct?
Well, absolutely, and he did, except, there was a lot of, the movie was 95% accurate. The only thing was changed was the drugs, it was heroin and, instead of cocaine. Most of the names were changed. They combined quite a few ladies and girlfriends of mine, and a few other people. But for the most part, it was 95.9% accurate.
Okay, now another one, Henry, it goes by what your answer was just now. Did Karen Hill really flush a kilo of coke down the toilet in that famous scene when the police raided the house?
It was nearly a kilo. It was close to a kilo, yeah, close to 2 pounds.
Wow.
Well, they found one Quaalude when I got popped in my pocket. I had one Quaalude. That was it. Honest to God. Yeah, but anyway.
Let me see if I'm sure the audience would know this answer. What former famous New York City cop, who's now a private detective like myself, Bodino, right? He's the one that actually puts the gun to Henry in the car, right?
Answer the question.
That's it.
Good answer.
Good answer. Henry, how long were you in the witness protection program totally?
Well, officially 7 years, but they threw me out about 7 times before the 7 years.
And how many different...
But I'm going to tell you something.
Go ahead.
They saved my life. Those guys, there was a point that there was a couple $1 million hit on my head. Those guys, they would have, stood in front of a bullet from, sorry to say, but that was their job, and the Marshal Service, they were the best, but it wasn't for me. I couldn't take the direction that they wanted me to follow, and stay off, stay out of the newspapers and TV and all this other stuff. But I had to make a living. The government didn't give me much money. When I went into the witness protection. But you're in Nebraska, right? Yeah, that was one of the places. I got $1,500 a month for a couple of years, subsistence, and that was it, And honestly, so I had to survive somehow. I started,
So you fixed the basketball games.
That was before. So there's a movie coming out. There's a movie coming out called The Final Four. And who wants to take the microphone? Oh, OZ. Okay, OZ.
Hey, Henry, let me ask you, out of all the places that the witness protection program, your movie ends like this, what was the worst place they sent you?
Nebraska, Omaha was great. The worst place they sent me was Rabbit Hash, Kentucky. And that's the gospel.
What was it?
Rabbit Hash, Kentucky.
Yeah, Rabbit Hares, Kentucky.
Rabbit Hash.
Hash. Rabbit Hash.
Honestly, I was right on the river, one of the rivers, the Ohio River was the worst place in my... first of all, they didn't speak English over there, and everybody chewed or whatever,
Yeah.
What was the best place, Henry? Was there a best place?
Well, I lived probably a dozen places in California, which I still live there.
Okay.
California, I think, was probably the best.
And how long did you have to testify at the beginning? How many, I know it was a long time.
7 glorious, marvelous, wonderful, miserable years.
7 years, so you need to understand that. Somebody coming from law enforcement like me and Henry doing the things he did. 7 years, totally his life was tied up with constantly testifying, being hit a place, taken out of there, testifying. So that was a long time. That was the early 80s, basically?
Yeah, from 80 to 87 until I got arrested in Seattle. I don't know, ranch in Seattle.
Really?
And the DA sent me, and honest to God, it's a long story, but...
Let me ask you this, Henry. Do you think that The Sopranos was an accurate portrayal of the mob?
Kind of, sort of. There was a lot of stuff that was, Hollywoodish, but it was a very good. You can see there's this guy. He probably knows better.
And before we open it up for questions, what was your first arrest for, Henry, and how old were you?
I bought, I think, 2 tires for a limousine when I was, I don't know, 15 or 16 years old.
And did it go like it did in the movie where you
Pretty much.
congratulated and the whole bit?
Pretty much so. Pretty much so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's open it up. Anybody has a question, please stand up, talk loud so I can hear you, please. If anybody
Want
has
to give
any...
them, right, check it in the, this mic?
No, they could just do it from there. This is what you have. Anybody got questions for Henry? This is your one chance to find out what you want to know. Yes, sir.
Were their bodies buried in Robert's Lounge?
There was a bocce court behind us. We had a bocce court behind. There was, yeah, I mean, it's not funny. I mean, yeah, there was at least a dozen people buried, what do you want to call them, people?
Now, why don't you explain where that is?
Most of the people know it was on Lefferts Boulevard, right off Franklin Boulevard.
Okay. Next question. Sal.
Because of your testimony, how many people were you able to put into jail?
All right, his question was, because of Henry's testimony, how many people were they able to put in jail, Henry?
Well, between the pleas and the 10 trials that I testified in, which we won every one, I mean, the government, I mean, which I don't know exactly, but they claim it's over 50. I mean, but these people, everybody, I mean, the real animals that I grew up with, I mean, homicidal maniacs and stone killers, and they over 50. They, 51, 52 people, and in that number there was maybe 10 or 15 that took place. But there was 10 trials that we were successful. The government was successful, and but they got a lot of bad people.
Who was the highest ranking person that got incarcerated because of your testimony?
Well, there was President's Union at the airport. The Ken trial was all the, legitimate, well, so-called legitimate people, but I forget the guy's name. He was the head of one of the major unions at the airport, the Kennedy Airport. Off the top of my head, I can't think of his name. And, a couple of captains in the, was a captain. But, when I made a deal with the government to, if they were going to kill me, my friends, I was supposed to only testify in the Lufthansa trial. But, as they started to debrief me every time I'd open my mouth, because the one deal was that I had to sign a contract with the government. If they caught me in one lie, they was going to be able to prosecute me for everything that they had on me and everything that I had revealed previously to that point. So I made sure I didn't get caught in the lies, because I told the truth. And you simply can't get caught in a lie, but you tell the truth. And but they kept opening, I opened the can of worms basically, and that caused them to start all these other cases. But that wasn't the original. The original deal I had with the government was, the Lufthansa robbery.
And Henry, a lot of people don't realize that also the movie, one of my family's favorite movies, My Blue Heaven, with Steve Martin, was based on Henry's life, with his protection program. A lot of people don't realize that, right, Henry?
Yeah, Nick Pileggi, the guy who wrote Wise Guy, and Goodfellas, he's married to Nora Ephron, who's Sleepless in Seattle, and a bunch of major movies. She's a top producer and director in Hollywood. And she used to pick my brain for, a year or two when we was doing a book. And I'd call Nick half drunk, and, she said, well, he's sleeping. And, I used to call her Aunt Nora, Aunt Nora, you don't want to wake up? No, but Henry, and she'd keep me on the phone and pick my brain for hours, would have seemed like hours at a time. And I had no clue what was going on. And my attorney was doing 15 to life now.
Don't hire that attorney. If you don't remember anything tonight, remember that.
Anyway, he wanted me to sue Nora. He said, you gotta sue her, because, he had, he was my agent and blah, 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 and my attorney at the time. And I says, there's no way I'm gonna sue Nick, you know, I mean, because Nick and Nora just got married. But Nick was always very kind to me and mentored me through the years, and we're in the process of him and Scorsese are doing a TV series about the young Henry Hill, which hopefully you'll get, you know, and Warner Brothers is, you know, part of the package. And hopefully you'll be seeing a television series, you know, in the very near future.
You had a question right over here?
Wake up, oh, Susie.
What made you decide to withdraw yourself from the Witness Protection Program, and is it a formal process of getting your identity back?
Well, I got arrested for, in Seattle for supposedly importing and distributing 50 kilos a week of cocaine, which, honest to God, I was like,
It was only 25, tell him.
anyway, I got convicted of, and that was the, you know, the official time. I was booted out of the Witness Protection Program probably a dozen times. You know, I mean.
Did they hand you your identity back and say, okay, you're...
Fuck, no. No. Well, Kenny knows, hold on. Kenny knows, because he was in the Witness Protection. Hold on, I'm gonna give him the mic for a second. I gotta go to the bathroom, so.
It's over there.
Henry's concern set a real precedent in the witness protection program because.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, you too, Henry. Happy Hanukkah. Mazel tov. Glazed man. He has to be the only participant in the program who's ever messed up so many times, repeatedly. Not over months, over years and years and years. But the truth of the matter is that there's something very... Calm down, baby. They're not here.